Silverwolf is the most powerful trailblazer in Honkai Star Rail. If you disagree, then you are just uneducated, uninformed, unlearned, and unenlightened. And I've about had it with people lying about Silverwolf's power level, whether it be uninformed Reddit comments or unflattering YouTube videos. And sure, not all of these videos straight up call Silverwolf bad, but even questioning Silverwolf's viability is offensive. It's like if you question if Faker was the GOAT at League of Lesbians or Michael Jordan was the GOAT at basketball. You just don't do that. Silverwolf is the GOAT trailblazer in Honkai Star Rail, and GOATs are not to be questioned. She is truly one of the most powerful anime mobile gaming characters I have ever seen, and I originally didn't want to accept it either. Like, originally I did consider myself to be more of a Kafka aficionado, and was on record of calling Silverwolf an ooh-woo cringe gamer girl. But now that both characters are out, it's painstakingly obvious that Silverwolf is the alpha Stellaron hunter between the two, and over time I have shifted towards being more of a Silverwolf aficionado than Kafka aficionado. Like, it's not really Silverwolf I'm attracted to, but it's her abilities. They are just so very broken to the point that mechanics can be ignored. Silverwolf is the exact opposite of Deha for me. Like, when Deha was first revealed in Genshin Impact, I pitched a massive tent while camping outside. But after everyone started to make fun of how bad Deha was, my tent subsided in a major way. The thing is, anime mobile gaming waifus are like cars. You owning them only matters so much as to how much other people want them. So since no one wants Deha at all in Genshin anymore, it makes her very unattractive. And considering I've wasted money on obtaining an E6 Silverwolf, I'll be really annoyed if she becomes undesirable to the general player base. So I just had to make this video on Silverwolf to try and keep public opinion on her in check so my attraction to her doesn't die. Like, I'm now actually seeing people compare her with a 4-star nerd trailblazer in Pela, which is an absolutely unhinged, unevaluated, uneducated, and unmedicated comparison. No self-respecting trailblazer can think this. Silverwolf is smarter than Pela, has more money than her, is more attractive, has more clout than Pela, can beat her up in a fight, and most importantly is just a better trailblazer. Anyways, given all this, I just knew that any trailblazers questioning Silverwolf's power level had to be a user issue, and I looked up the most common builds for Silverwolf, and what I saw was highly disappointing. Basically, everyone is recommending to build Silverwolf as one of 3 support builds: a break effect build, a debuffer, or as a support DPS. And the thing is, Silverwolf should not be played as a support character under any circumstance. Rather, Silverwolf is best utilized as a hyper carry who you should continuously invest majority of your resources into until maxed out. And before I even show calculations proving she is best used as a hyper DPS, ask yourself, like, do you really think playing Silverwolf as a support even makes sense lore-wise? People that play the support role in online gaming are the most insecure crybabies that rely on other players to carry them since they lack gaming ability themselves. Like, admit it, if you could pop heads as McCree, you would, but you can't because you're bad, so you just AFK pocket 1 as Mercy. If you could snowball as Storm Spirit, you would, but you can't because you're bad. So you run around the map as Crystal Maiden with only boots and magic wand 30 minutes into the game, acting as effectively a glorified range creep that the enemy team continuously feeds off. And then once you inevitably lose, you somehow have the audacity to blame your DPS teammates even though you somehow managed to die 32 times. Like, how is that even possible? This is not Silverwolf at all. Silverwolf would never support you in any video game ever. She is far too competent, confident, and capable to ever do such a thing. Like, do you really think Silverwolf would AFK heal you as Sauna in League? No, Silverwolf would call Akali mid every game, and if she didn't get that mid lane, she would take that Akali's ass into the jungle, and then blame supports if she died to creeps. As we all are aware, anime mobile gaming characters are always balanced to be lore accurate, and it's obvious that Silverwolf would put herself in the hyper carry role. Still, proving that hypercarry Silverwolf is mathematically the best way to win this video game isn't hard to do, so let's quickly go through it. We can just compare her single target damage to the current Trailblazer people think is the highest single target damage, which is Zila. At E6, Zila does 3,264 DPS damage with her ult, which is wow, very impressive, but at only E0, Silverwolf already besses this, first doing 2,918.4 flat damage, but when including her defense shred, this becomes 4,363 damage, which is a good bit more than Zila. But then if you're properly investing in your account, you should ignore every other Trailblazer and prioritize obtaining Silverwolf Eidolons, because getting more Silverwolf Eidolons will make her more powerful. At E4, her damage is increased to 4,619, and at E6 it becomes 6,467, overall making her 1.98 times better than Zila. So that is the theory. Now let me show you the application of it. So how I like to think about building my Silverwolf is to first maximize her attack so she hits harder, make her speed very high so she'll hit more often, make her crit rate big so she crits more, and make her crit damage really high so she crits even harder. Most of my numbers are good except for this crit rate, which should be a lot closer to 100%, so it's guaranteed. As for her Eidolons, I honestly recommend farming for all of them, as each one will only make Silverwolf more powerful and omnipotent. And for her light cone, you will also want as many of these as possible, which as you can see, I still need to farm for one more, so even I've not fully powered up my Silverwolf as of yet. And for her relics, I use the Quantum set, and in fact, you not only want to farm Quantum set on Silverwolf, but pretty much every other Trailblazer in this video game should be run on the Quantum set. That is because the Quantum set is the best in slot set on every Trailblazer in the game as long as Silverwolf is on the team. And the thing is, Silverwolf is always on the team, so therefore the Quantum set is just the best set for every Trailblazer. Hence, I just recommend spending all your time farming the Quantum set and giving your best pieces to the omnipotent Silverwolf. Then the second best pieces can trickle down to Weiss Need, who is the second most powerful Trailblazer in the game. And after that, the rest of the Quantum pieces can trickle down to all the other lesser Trailblazers. And this process will never stop, as Silverwolf can always potentially get another upgrade, and even if you don't farm another upgrade, well then that farming gain can still trickle down to another Trailblazer. So I have Weiss Need on the Quantum set, and then I have Wuxuan on the Quantum set, and Bronya on the Quantum set, Kafka, Himiko, Ziola, Trailblazer. Just about everyone on my account runs the Quantum set these days, as this is just simply the most efficient way to farm for overpowered relics in this video game.